The Ghost Army, the secret soldiers who fooled Hitler. They weren't armed with guns. They carried paintbrushes, speakers, and rubber tanks. But what they did changed the course of World War II, and for decades, no one knew they existed. This is the true story of the Ghost Army, an elite unit of artists, sound engineers, and illusionists who waged war using deception and won battles without ever firing a shot. For years, their mission was classified, their story buried beneath silence and secrecy until now. It was 1944. Europe was a battlefield. Hitler's war machine still thundered across the continent. And the Allied forces, though gaining ground, faced an enemy that was cunning, brutal, and unpredictable. The stakes had never been higher. In the shadows of this chaos, the US Army assembled something completely unconventional. Not a strike force, but a ghost force. Unit 23 of the 603rd Engineer Camouflage Battalion. Officially, the 23rd Headquarters Special Troops. Unofficially, the Ghost Army. 100 men, artists from New York, set designers from Hollywood, radio technicians and sound engineers, painters, actors, not your typical soldiers. Their mission, to make the Nazis believe the American army was somewhere it wasn't. To fake divisions, to trick entire enemy battalions, to save lives through lies. And they did it all behind enemy lines, with rubber tanks that looked real from the air, with soundscapes that mimicked entire armies, recorded on massive speakers and played across battlefields, with false radio chatter, forged documents, staged camps, and even soldiers dressing in different uniforms to impersonate officers. It was theater on the world's deadliest stage. Their first major act came before the D-Day invasion. While real troops prepared for Normandy, the Ghost Army staged elaborate drills in the south of England. They created a phantom army, complete with inflatable Sherman tanks, fake artillery, and trucks that left tire marks in the mud. German reconnaissance planes flew overhead, and they bought it. The Nazis believed a massive force was preparing to attack Pas-de-Calais, not Normandy. It was a lie that helped secure the beachheads, but their most dangerous performance came in the summer of 1944, Operation Brest. In Brittany, France, the Allies needed time, so the Ghost Army stepped in. They created the illusion of a 6,000-man division where only a few hundred soldiers stood. They blared tank sounds from speakers mounted on jeeps. They moved their inflatable arsenal under cover of darkness. They lit fake campfires, put up dummy tents, and directed radio traffic like a real battalion. And the Germans hesitated long enough for Allied troops to regroup, reinforce, and ultimately take the city. Again, not a single shot fired by the Ghost Army, but their illusion had saved thousands of lives. One of the most chilling deceptions came during the Battle of the Bulge. In freezing temperatures with Nazi forces pressing forward, the Ghost Army impersonated General George Patton's forces, moving east while the real division maneuvered elsewhere. They became shadows, whispers, ghosts that walked behind enemy lines, making the enemy chase phantoms while the real soldiers advanced undetected. They knew the risk. If captured, they'd be shot as spies. Many of them didn't even carry real weapons, just pencils, fabric, air pumps, and sound reels. They worked in silence, and they kept their secret for over 50 years. No medals, no honors, no history books, because the mission was classified until 1996. But behind the veil, their legacy lived on. In the sketches they made, the stories they whispered, the families they saved. And when their records were finally declassified, historians were stunned. General Eisenhower himself had credited them with saving tens of thousands of lives. Yet none of them ever sought glory. One of the ghost soldiers, artist Bill Blass, who would later become a world-famous fashion designer, once said, "War was the worst thing I ever did, but this was the best way to fight it." Their story is not just one of camouflage and creativity. It is a testament to the power of human imagination, to the belief that sometimes art can win wars. In an age of violence, they brought illusion. In a world of death, they crafted deception to save life. And in the darkest hours of history, they proved that courage does not always wear armor. Sometimes it wears paint. The Ghost Army was never meant to be remembered, but now it can never be forgotten. Because in a war defined by brutality, they fought with brilliance, and they remind us all that even when the world is burning, a little imagination can still change everything.